We head over to Ethiopia now, where, according to reports, at least 2 people were killed by an explosion in the capital of Ethiopia's Amhara region. Amhara has been rocked by days of protests against the integration of local security forces into the national police and army. The government says the troop unification will be completed at all costs. Here's CGTN's Girum Chala with more.
It has been more than a week now since Ethiopia's federal government announced it will dissolve regional special police force, aiming at forming one strong army under the central government's command. Officials announced members of the soon-to-be dissolved special force have a choice of joining the Ethiopian National Defense Force, the federal police, or regional regular police force. But we've heard the objection in the Amhara region against this plan has continued, and even an explosion in Bahadar, the capital of the region, claimed 2 lives. So far, there is no official confirmation from the government about that incident, and no details came out of the happening. Still, some cities in the region remain under curfew and strong restrictions too. On the other hand, all other regions other than that of the Amhara have accepted the scheme of dissolving their respective special police force and are working towards its practical implementation. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, as well as Deputy Chief of Staff of the Army Lieutenant General Abubakar Tadesse, said the plan of forming one strong federal army will be completed at any and every cost necessary. Group Channel CGTN, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Well, let's get more on that story with Samuel Getachew, who's a political analyst, and he's joining us live via Zoom from Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa. Hi there, Samuel. Thank you so much for joining us on Africa Live. Samuel, Amhara is seeing a sustained wave of protests, and that's been in the last 6 days or so, against its plan to integrate regional special forces into National Army or the police. Why are the protests more pronounced there, Samuel?
Well, the Amharas feel that they are going to be attacked if they're not armed by the TPLF, in which the Ethiopian government has been saying is a terrorist organization until this peace agreement was signed in Pretoria, as well as a follow-up signing in Kenya, in Nairobi. But the Amharas have alleged that there is a sense of Amhara genocide, perhaps, in some parts of Ethiopia that they need to protect themselves from. The Ethiopian conflict of the last 2 years has produced millions of victims, including thousands who have died, and a large portion of these victims, according to the Amharas, are from the region of Amhara. So to them, it's about protection, as well as there are disputed lands that the Amharas have reclaimed from the Tigray region that they feel that they need to keep with arms that should be available to them, according to them.
Samuel, for people who obviously are not conversant with how the security structures in Ethiopia are organized, explain to us the Ethiopian security structure and why this integration of the special forces is a big step for both the regional authorities and the federal government.
Well, the constitution of this country doesn't allow any kind of special forces, but the TPLF, while in government for many years, has been allowing, especially the Somali region, to really build their own forces to try to defend themselves from Al-Shabaab. So the country has been allowing these regions to build up their own forces. But this government, the government of Abiy Ahmed, as Groom has highlighted, has been saying that there needs to be a stronger force, a stronger federal force in this country that really protects every part of this country. But the Amharas are the exception. They feel this arrangement wouldn't be in their best interest. They've also been asking to be part of the peace engagement with TPLF, in which the federal government has been saying it's the role of the federal government.
So what we are hearing from Ethiopia, Samuel, from the Ethiopian government, is the government saying that the troop unification will be completed at all costs. How is the Ethiopian government responding to these concerns by Amhara? And is it just the Amhara region that is reacting this way, or with regards to the plans to integration, or are there other regions that are also protesting?
Well, the Somali region has endorsed the plan of this government. Other regions have been quiet so far. The Amharas are really vocal in terms of this, in a country that doesn't really believe in or hasn't shown the kind of compromise that's needed to really serve in the interest of the whole country, this conflict is expected to move forward. Again, the Amhara region has been saying the agreement that the government has enacted with the TPLF hasn't been in their best interest. So it's an open question whether there is going to be a peaceful ending to this conflict. But in many parts of Amhara, it's business as usual. It's quiet. We've checked. Businesses are opening up. The protests are dwindling. They're not as large as they used to be. But the government is hopeful that they would move forward with their mission.
Samuel, thank you so much for your insights. Samuel Getachew speaking to us from Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, and he is a security analyst.